Hey guys, it's Matt here, and today I'm bringing you another episode of Matt Rants. So, before we get into the Matt Rants, though, I just want to mention a few quick things, really short, really quick. First thing I want to mention is, so this past weekend was a little bit light on releases, a little bit quiet. I did mention last week on last Monday's episode of Matt Rants that this past weekend should have been a bit better with releases. However, the debate tournament completely wiped me out. I do behind-the-scenes work at a local debate league, so there was a debate tournament. I don't know why I said league that way. I always say league that way, I think. Big league. But it was two tournaments in a row, 2 days. So both Saturday, Sunday for one day, and both Saturday, Sunday for another day. One day was like city championships. This weekend was high school. It's like a state championship thing, right? So it wasn't high school, it was elementary school, middle school. But still, either way, completely nuts, right? And then Saturday into Sunday, actually. This is how badly my days are right now. Saturday into Sunday, I went to a local friend of the channel's band, At the Ready, local New York band. Their release party for their EP was actually on Saturday to Sunday. So I got very little sleep, but it was awesome. Still have a ringing in my ear, so I might be louder than usual. Still have a ringing in my ear. Might need to get that checked out if it's still here within the week. But yeah, so thankfully, even though we had some stuff set up for the weekend that I sadly did not have the time to do some Photoshop work on, or just the general photo editing work for the releases, and also write description and all that, that will be coming out today. If you guys are listening in, and you probably, or you've subscribed to the channel, which you totally should, by the way, then you saw the Tomy Sega Dreamcast AV cables unboxing. That was going to come out on Saturday, and then Sunday was going to be the newest episode of Those Guys Play Season 4. However, thankfully, that episode will be coming out this Saturday, and in the near future, we will be doubling up like a Those Guys Play Season weekend, with Saturday and Sunday both having some Those Guys Play Seasons episodes in the near future, not this weekend coming up. But the point is that today, speaking of that episode, actually, that episode does tie in to this episode of Matt Rants. So today I'm asking the question, and I'm answering it as well, as we do with some of these Matt Rants. And the question is, are free PSN games actually free? Now, the reason why I'm asking this is specifically for games that you get through the PlayStation Network, that you pay, let's say, whatever you pay, $25 a month, or whatever the other, the subscription fees are, depending on how many months you're buying it for. And so when you pay that off, right, or when you pay it in general, you have access to 2 to 3 free games a month. Sometimes the games are really, really good, and sometimes the games are okay. And to be fair, I think that really depends on who you are and what your tastes are. I'm not a big fan of kind of just online exclusive games, even if they're up to 4 players and you can potentially have like chats and like or you can get groups together of people who also have PS4s in the game as well. So like, even though those are great and stuff like that, I'm not a big fan of it. I prefer smaller indie titles that are really cool, and you can just do either single player or maybe 2-player in person, so multiplayer in person of any kind. I'm a bigger fan of like multiplayer in person than I am trying to try to get a bunch of usernames of my friends around just so that we can try to get into one group to play the game. And some games don't even have that, right? So I'm a bigger fan of, especially when it comes to getting these free games. I mean, they're all free anyway, but also they take up a lot of space too. Some of the ones that aren't indie, and if they are indie, they're still like, online only. They still take up a lot of space, right? So but I still have to say though, the games have been really good throughout the, I think, like 2 years that I've had it. And I'm sure it's been good for many of you guys as well. And you've really enjoyed that perk, right? You really enjoyed, because yes, it's you don't need to be getting them, I will admit that, but it's still nice to get regardless. And also, it's just something that is pretty cool that Sony is giving that to us, even though yes, we're paying for online, and I'm sure younger me would have been like, no, but I wish we could be getting online for free. Yes, but there are a lot of people getting online, a lot of servers, there's costs. I'm not saying they're not making a profit off of, the amount that we pay as subscribers, but, I do understand that there needs to at least be a minimum cost to try to recoup the cost of the servers and et cetera, yada, yada. Also, I don't know if some of these indie corporations or these general corporations that get their games given away for free with PSN, if they get some kind of kickback. I hope they would. I hope it's not in some kind of service agreement or something for them when they put it on the PlayStation Store. Tell me that in the comments below if you know whether or not that's the case. But now, why am I asking the question whether or not they're free? Because obviously you're getting them for free, right? So why does this matter? How does it tie into Those Guys Play Seasons, right? Why do we care, or why should we care? Well, here's my problem. And by the way, I'm gonna even hit you with guys with a counterpoint later, because I know some of you guys are gonna be like, but this in the comments below. I'm gonna hit you with a counterpoint a little bit later to counter my own point, but I'm still a little upset here, right? And I don't want to become one of these, angry ranting YouTubers, because usually these they're rants, yes, but they're a bit calmer and a bit more relaxed. But this one actually really pissed me off when I noticed it at the time. So what's going on? What happened? Well, first of all, I wanted to play a specific game, and I won't name the game because I don't want to attack this publisher personally or this game personally, and frankly, I would like to play it in the near future. So either on the show or just in general. So I'm not trying to attack this game, and I don't want people, if a bunch of people start listening to this, be like, oh, we're gonna point the finger at them, because it's not on the publisher, right? This isn't on the publisher. This is more so on Sony, and why I'm not a big fan of what I'm about to say, right? So here's the issue. I recently stopped paying for PSN, which means that I don't have PSN. And I'm okay with, obviously not having PSN, not being able to go online and play games, right? I'm okay with that, like playing like WWE 2K games with Satish Ram, a friend of the channel, does a podcast and Let's Plays with us. I'm okay with not playing those games with him. He hasn't bought any fairly recently, and so neither have I. So we both realized, if, I'm pretty sure the last one we got was, I think we got 2K6, yeah, we got 2K16. That was the last one. So 2K18's out, so 16 can't be played online anymore. So we don't need to have PSN. I think he has PSN though for Final Fantasy and some other stuff that he plays, but I don't, and I'm okay with that, right? The problem is that every game that I was given through PSN now cannot be accessed. So all of the games that I've gotten for free via giveaway while paying for PSN, now I'm being told that I have to subscribe to PSN to actually access all of that content. Now, I know some of you are going to say, but Matt, I'm sure there's something in the user agreement about that. You should be reading more. You should be appreciative that Sony even gave you these games. And first of all, you're probably right. I should have read the service agreement. I'm sure it's in there somewhere. I'm sure it's in there. And I'm not saying that it isn't. And I'm not saying that I didn't agree to it if it is, or if it was updated and told me, hey, we updated the agreement, press, X if you agree, right? I'm not saying that it isn't in there. The reason why it frustrates me is because I don't think of, I try to live in the present. I try to just think of the present, but I'm a worrier, right? I think of the future. So instead of just thinking about the present and even the past, I think about where we're headed, right? What's the future going to entail? And especially because, I think a lot of us gamers, even some teens that are gamers, but like gamers in our 20s and our 30s and so on, we've seen the rise and fall of consoles. Now, this isn't a video that's like, this will be the death of Sony. No. It's just the idea that when a PS5 starts rolling around, and when Sony is trying to obviously maintain servers for PS5 as well as PS4, eventually, Sony's going to say, yeah, we have to discontinue the PS4 PSN service or any other kind of servers for the PS4. When that day comes, due to these licensing agreements that they have with these different companies that they've given away these games with, I'm going to assume, and if you think it's a bad assumption, please, again, comment below, right? But I'm going to assume, and I hate usually assuming, but I'm going to do it, that when that day comes, all of these free games that I have been given will not be able to work because I won't be paying for PSN because PSN won't exist. So that is why I have such a huge issue with all of this personally. So, and look, again, I get it. I agreed to it and it's a gift and I should be grateful. And frankly, I am happy with all the stuff that they've given me with paying for PSN because frankly, I wouldn't have gotten into some of these games. I wouldn't have known that some of them existed if I didn't get them through PSN. So in no way think that I'm not happy that I own them now. The problem is that I use the word own when I really fucking don't. And that's the big issue to me, where if these were, and this is why I'm really upset about, and by the way, I'm not upset that people are enjoying digital only releases or a digital future. If you're happy with it, then I'm happy that you're happy. My issue is that there's going to come a day when we're going to be sitting here with digital only releases, right? As far as the eye can see. I don't think anytime in the near future, not in the next 5 years, but I do think it's going to happen one day, or at least it's going to be tried to be pushed with a console only digital. And when I say only digital, I don't even mean like a, NES Classic situation, right? Or Super NES Classic. I'm talking about a brand new console with games that are freaking, 20 gigs or more, just straight up digital only. And then all of a sudden, if it's digital only and there's certain, things put in there, it could turn into like certain like clauses and conditions and the code and whatever. Heck, we've even seen some issues with PC gamers, not with the gamers themselves, but the games when it comes to DRM. And, if you don't have internet to log in when the DRM is trying to check whether or not the game is working, you're a pirate. So are we going to end up having that with consoles as well? Where are we going to have a situation where you paid, at this point, if it's digital only, the games won't be $60 a piece because they don't have to compete with themselves and other retailers. So there's not going to be any clauses like that because there are right now. So it'll probably be $45 a game, but if games don't increase due to the high budget of games. But let's say they're $45. So you're paying $45 for a digital only game that in 5 years from then or in 3 years from then, oops, sorry, you don't really own it. So that right there is really just frustrating me thinking about that kind of future. Now, here's something I do want to mention though, and I again, a lot of people are going to really get on me for this too, I'm sure. The idea that, not only do I agree to it, not only is it a gift, but why don't I just pay the developers for their game? Why don't I just do that? And frankly, you're actually 100% right on that. I will give you that point. You can win on that contention. I will give you that point. But at the same time, though, again, Sony, it's just Sony giving me a gift, right? And that's the thing that I think of it as. Because, look, I know, again, it's not, they're not my friends. It's, marketing this, marketing that, sign this agreement here and all that stuff. So it's hard to think of it as a friend kind of contract, right? A quote-unquote contract or like a friendly exchange. But I just couldn't imagine that if someone, just anyone, just say someone off the street, right, gave you a physical edition of like a book or a game or a movie or something and said, okay, but if you one day, like, as if like, if I revoke the contract, then one day I'm going to come to your house and take it from you. You'd be like, what in the hell? Like, it would be so odd to try to sign that in person. Let's say if they actually pulled out. So some person just walked up to you on the street. Hey, I want to give you this free copy of Avengers Infinity War on DVD. Now, by the way, it's not even out in theaters yet. So I will admit I might be willing to give my home address. But the point is, I might be willing to take this deal. This is a gamble that I fully am comfortable with. But the point is that if, someone wanted to do that to you and just said, like, there's a table on the street with a contract, no change my mind sign, just on the street, and you sit down and you're ready to sign it, it's really fucking odd when you describe it that way, just in real life, signing something to get something and then being told, but one day this may be revoked, or if you don't pay your subscription fee. And also I would like to mention, some people are going to talk about in the comments below, Netflix, right? But the thing with Netflix is, at least at this point, in the US as well, you can't, I don't know about like outside the US, but I know in the US, you can't you can't download those onto a system. So the idea of it being all in a cloud somewhere, in a server somewhere that can be removed, people still get mad, of course. I still sit back and I'm like, why did you take off Scrubs and Bob's Burgers? But it's still a bit different than saying, hey, you can put this on your device exclusively, like through like a Netflix download app. But if you stop paying for Netflix, all of them would be removed. It's funny though, because when it comes to movies, in some odd way, it sort of makes sense. But the issue, of course, is that it feels odd because in this case, if you're on your device, if it's a phone or a Kindle, it's not a Netflix only device. So I think that's what it is. Where like if Netflix made a device themselves, or if there was like just a device made just for viewing movies, it would be odd if there was like some weird Netflix clause or something like that. Like it's really hard to compare video games to other forms of media and other mediums, because the PlayStation 4 is a video game playing device. Yes, you're using their service to download these games, some for free, some not, but it just feels so, just to me, odd and frustrating that if I don't pay for PSN, all of those games are gone, because now it's in terms of, yes, I'm not paying for it, but one day it just won't exist. And I'm assuming Sony will not sit back and go, oh, don't worry, we'll just let all those expire. You can play them all to your heart's content. Because at the end of the day, they signed contracts with these developers and publishers and all these peeps that they're not going to sit back and allow their games to be just completely played for free. And again, I will admit, I would probably look at some of these games, depending on how expensive they are, and I'll just purchase them myself on the PS4 because that'll quote unquote last forever. But I say that as if, so Sony could easily just, and they won't, but easily just second the PS5 is out. Yeah, if you update your PS4, it will be bricked. Would they? No. Could they? Yes. They would never, but they technically could. So, thanks, updates. But still, as we're wrapping this thing up, it's just, it's just a pain, guys. That's all I'm saying. It's just a pain. Like, to give something away for free, yes, there was a contract, yes, there was a subscription service, but you didn't have to entice me with that, with those free games. It's just the idea that I needed to play online was good enough. But then to tell me, here's your free games, and then to say, actually, they're not really free and you can't really access them. So your $25, you weren't really saving as much as you thought per month or whatever it is you paid per year or I think it's like 3 or 6 months or something like that. So you weren't really saving anything. It can all be gone at a drop of a hat. So, and I know we've experienced this before with the PT demo and stuff like that, but at least that was free, right? At least you weren't paying like some Konami subscription service. Just that's going to be the future. Just exclusive. This is the Nintendo subscription service. This is the Konami. This is the Capcom. Please don't go there. Please let's not go to that kind of future for games. But the point is that when we look at this game that I'm talking about, and the fact that it was so easily accessible to me months ago, and I could have easily played it because it was given to me for free, quote unquote. The fact that all of a sudden, as I'm trying to play it, it's just, oh, we're sorry, you can't access that. It's going to be frustrating for any of us, I think. And for all of you calling me a lazy bum, because I know you are, you're going to in the comments, again, think of the future, right? Not the children. Think of the children, but think of the future. And think about the fact that one day, we're not going to have access to PSN. So where are all these games going to go? Right? Where's all this? Is this going to be data on my freaking PS4 that I have to sit back and go, well, I guess I'll delete it because it doesn't exist. I'm sure they'll be on Steam. I'm not saying these games are going to be wiped off the face of the earth or anything. I'm not trying to be, I'm not trying to hit you guys with this shock value, like the games will never exist. No, Steam, and a lot of these games have Steam releases as well, to be completely honest. I have really terrible PCs and really terrible laptops. You guys know this if you've been listening for a while. I've talked to you guys about this before, but it is just frustrating to be given something and to be told, nope, just kidding, and taking it away. Again, in some ways like PT, but at least that was for free, right? Frustrating, yes, but heck, if you downloaded it, it's not like they removed it from your PlayStation 4. It was just you couldn't re-download it. So, but in this case, it would literally be like if they said, hey, you can only access it via like a Konami code. Oh god, shit, I just fucking did that. What I meant was, god damn it, I didn't want to make that joke. But like some kind of password. There we go, Konami password. Or something along those lines. So to me, it's just really frustrating, personally. And I'll say the word over and over because I don't want to say it's appalling, all right? It's the worst thing Sony's ever done because it happened to me. Like, we're not going to go there, all right? But I do want to hear, as we're finishing this up, what you guys have to say about this, what you guys think about this. Has this happened to you before? Have you felt like you've gotten such a good deal with PSN only to find out that it was all an illusion, right? All the games that you paid for really don't exist, even on your own hard drive. Or are you okay with that and you love your Sony overlords? No, but I'm sorry. Now that's gonna fucking get me some heat in the comments. But no, if you actually are okay with that because you understand that yes, it is a contract. Yes, it's what's gonna happen. But now here's the big question: if you're okay with it, are you really willing or willing in general to then get those same games potentially again for free on the PS5 with PSN, or even having to pay for those games again on PS5? Because look, yes, people have been experiencing that with the Switch, but at least with the Switch, you can take that on the go. I don't have one myself, but you can take that on the go. But when it comes to the PS5, as far as we know nothing of it right now, other than the fact that you've heard my rant about me saying let's not have it come out in 2019. But as far as we know, it's going to be a home console. So you're going to pay for some of these games again, or just pay for them in general when you were getting them for free on the PS4. If they were that good, maybe, but I don't know, guys. I don't know if I want to have to pay for everything again, either on the PS5 or pay for it in general when I have it here on the PS4. Am I even getting a PS5? Are you even? Like, it's just the future that I'm thinking about here. But anyway, thank you guys so much for listening to another Matt Rants. This one I think is a little bit shorter than some of the other Matt Rants that we've done recently. And hopefully next time it'll be a lighter topic, a fun topic, so I don't have to get... And I think even my version of Matt isn't like steaming, fuming, because I'm not here to try to put down Sony, because it's just... I mean, well, in a way I am. But not down to the point where I'm like, and I will never buy one of their products again. Because, like, but then I might. Like, I totally might eventually. Not the PS5, because that's money, but that's a lot of money. But, well, if I end up coming to you guys with a new PS4 game, all of a sudden it's like, but man, I thought you said. So I'm not going to sit here and make these declarations, because it's just, I have to admit, though, unless it's to access these PSN games, I will think twice about getting PSN. That I'll definitely say to you guys. It's PSN that I think I'm not saying to boycott, because again, that's a big word too, and I don't think it's a big enough issue to use that word, other than, to jokingly be like, #boycott. But other than that, I don't think it's a boycottable offense. But I definitely do think that on a personal level, I really don't know if I'll be getting PSN again, unless, again, some of those games are really good. So I might want to play them for a month, play them on the channel, and then just stop and not get it for a few months. Or ever again, really. If I got through the games that I wanted to get through and I enjoyed them, then that's all, right? Because I just don't see the need to just be told, hey, when you're not paying us, none of these games matter anymore. It's like they're still that's the thing too, by the way. I want to make sure you guys know this. They're still taking up space on my hard drive. I alluded to it earlier, but you can try it out yourself. Don't pay for a month if you're able to, or at least for a few days. And you'll notice all the games are still taking up all the space, but you can't access them. Isn't that grand? Anyway, so thank you all for listening, guys. Please remember to like, subscribe if you liked the video. And if you didn't like the video, you can still like and subscribe either way. No matter what, please comment below. I really do want to hear all your stories, all your questions, concerns, and all that stuff about, the PlayStation Network and all their free games, quote unquote, and stuff like that. And hopefully you tune in next time for another episode of Matt Rants. Okay, guys, so see ya.